Good evening, welcome to Ubuntu Channels. My point of view is definitely a Saturday evening, and we are glad to bring you the program just like any other Saturday. And to host it, my name is Chaza right here, and to be joined by Mr. Mukelabai right here. The program is designed and tailor-made to actually give you headlines and stories of the week. Mr. Mukelabai, good evening and welcome to the program.
Good evening, Chaza. And good evening, viewers. It's good to be back. Sorry, last week, Tenzeko nama commitments, but now we are back. Yes, so just hope that something happened back home during those 2 weeks. I don't know what you have for us today, Chaza. What do you have for us?
We have quite a number of stories that I'll be reviewing right here on the program, and definitely it's good to be here. And those of you that are following through Facebook, not forgetting YouTube or Twitter, we definitely appreciate that and would like to hear from you where you actually, following from. You can leave us a comment right in the comment section, and those of you that would like to join live on the set, you can click on the StreamYard link and you definitely get to us right here. Let's take a view, of the first story, and we're coming back right after that story.
There was drama at a named church in Lusaka's George compound when a couple's marriage blessing ceremony was interrupted by the presence of the groom's first wife. During the marriage blessing, the groom's first wife, who was not invited, is said to have stood up in the crowd demanding that the union should not be blessed.
This marriage I cancelled.
The wedding photographer, who was hired for the event, narrates what happened.
Number kopa na pictures. Nikopa. Then kulija time yamene imankhala timanje wafuna wadalise we chikwata. Yafika ja time wabwera wafunza. Ni ndani amene afuna kuti I wedding isachitike. Then kwabwera kwa nkhalazi ka time kang'ono kwabwera kwapezeka mkazi. Abwera nyamuka. Ati ine nifuna I wedding isachitike chifukwa aba ni bamuna banga lero wagona kunyumba kwanga so.
Meanwhile, the groom, whose identity has been withheld, has disclosed to ZNBC News that his first marriage was dissolved on January 23rd, 2024.
My former wife came to interrupt on the whilst the man of God was in front. Yes, and to my surprise is that we were in court and were given divorce certificate, but I don't understand why someone can come and start interrupting and immobilizing people to come and disturb the wedding.
But the church leadership says the couple that was almost being married off were not members of the church. However, they only asked that their marriage be blessed in the church. With the disruption, the wedding could not continue, as the bride was put away from the church by her family. Fortune Melita, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
There we have it. Drama ensued while, a wedding ceremony was being solemnized. by a clergy there. Mr. Mukelaba, your reaction?
Thank you so much. We have seen this before. I think the confusion that is there is lack of knowledge and lack of information, especially of people when they are married, knowing their rights on what are their rights, what is it that they are supposed to do when they are either on separation or they're divorced. For the gentleman to have even gone to have reached that far, that he was about to marry, and according to the reaction of his reaction after, where he claimed that his first marriage was actually ended, the divorce was granted. Now, I don't understand why the other woman would go and interrupt the marriage. However, I heard in one of the videos saying that in the same video earlier, where somebody said the man woke up from the same house, from the house of his ex. So that already shows that the man was busy enjoying a double life, and we know that there's a lot of conflicts of traditional culture and of course these inherited laws, this English, the English law that we have, that people in Zambia traditionally, men are allowed, if you marry under customary law, you are allowed to actually have more than one wife. It is legit, it is okay. You can see our brothers from southern province that have legalized, that have done this as their custom. We have seen our brothers who are of the other religious, the Muslims, they are allowed to marry more than one wife. Their tradition or their culture does permit them. And there are some in Zambia also that it is also legal in Zambia to marry more than one wife, for as long as you are marrying under customary marriage, not the statutory marriage. Because if you do that, then you commit a very serious crime where you'll be charged with bigamy and you go to prison for that. Otherwise, drama. Me, I feel like the mistake was made by the man. I think he woke up from his ex-wife's bedroom, going for a wedding, and that the wife that was giving a wife a signal that their marriage was actually never concluded. They are back together. So that's why she acted so jealously and went to interrupt. So she is within her rights. At the same time, probably she ignorantly went ahead and ignored the divorce, if at all the divorce was granted. But if not, then the man is lying. If he can lie to go to his wife about the other woman, and then he walks up from her home and goes straight to marry, then his credibility is already questionable. So probably we should side with the woman and wait and see if at all the matter goes ahead, to hear what will happen. I hope our journalist from Ubuntu can make a follow-up over this case so that we can bring this issue on our program, that program on Thursday, program of Pansaka, so we can discuss this. Otherwise, yeah, it's a catch-22. My brother was caught red-handed, waking up from his ex-wife and going to marry another wife. and claiming that his marriage was divorced. I mean, it was the divorce was ended a long time ago. So sometimes it's better to wait and tell the truth to the other part, because he's been lying. He's been going to both women. So that's strange, but somehow it's his fault. The woman just was acting not on impulse, but she, as a jealous person, you woke up from her bedroom and then you go and stand on the altar, marry another. So she has all the right to interrupt the marriage. So, and I'm glad that the marriage was not concluded, that the pastors, they decided to postpone, rather did not marry the couple. So too bad. Now his reputation, he has to now work on his reputation to clear the reputation. He's already dented his name, and that's very sad. That's very sad. Now the children are the ones that are going to suffer in this. Yeah. So I just hope also the local courts should when divorcing couples, they should give strict conditions. One of the conditions is that the couples, upon divorcing, they should wait until the dust is settled before they go and look for other significant others elsewhere. But they should wait until either properties are shared, children custody issue. They wait for 6 months. You can even deliberately put an order within the decree that you are not, either of you are not allowed to get married until a certain period that you have everything. There are no issues that may arise at the end of the day. Otherwise, also you can give the room for reconciliation, that people can divorce so they can still go back and get married together. So the moment they do that, probably you violate the court order, and then you can be cited with either contempt or you nullify the judgment. So we don't know. We have to the local court justices have to be very clever when issuing these so-called divorce certificates. We should put up conditions, not just open statement where you don't even talk about properties and children, especially children. When there are children involved, the local court should focus on where the children should be and who should look after and how the visitation rights and stuff, all those things, they have to, not just pronouncements. Otherwise, that's what I can say for now.
All right, Mr. Mkilabai, I've heard you talking about, imported laws as regards marriage. What is your take? Are you for the statutory kind of marriage that you need to stick to, one woman as your wife? Or are you for, the customary aspects that, one may marry more than, one wife?
Well, when we look at those days, yes, it was okay for our forefathers to marry more than one wife. In terms of economy, it's a burden for a man today to marry more than one wife, because you have too many to feed, and you have so many bills to pay, and you need to give equal treatment to your wives, So equity distribution of your love equitably, I don't think it will be fair, because there will be someone that you love more than the other, no matter how best you may try to do things. Otherwise, I would rather prefer to go for a statutory marriage, in a sense that it's a monogamous marriage, and it gives certain rights for both parties, and especially when you are divorcing and you have lived for a long time in a marriage, and you are divorcing, there's equitable distribution of properties, and there's proper well outlined a way of distributing, or rather sharing, custody of your children, and tabulates who should be the sole provider, or how both parents are supposed to contribute. They draw up that roadmap for the children to grow in a very healthy relationship between two divorced parents. So unlike in a local court where they just dump you, they just pronounce the end of marriage, and then you go on your own and start abusing each other. And that's why you see this confusion, because people don't take it so seriously under customary. Otherwise, for other men, especially promiscuity guys, and those women who are who would want to just marry for something, then for a shorter period, I think I would suggest that they take customary marriage, so that they are safe in terms of being charged for bigamy, and to avoid certain things, because it's legal in Zambia to have more than one wife. That is, if you marry under customary marriage. At the same time, also, you need to. It's not automatic that you can leave your wife at home and then you go and marry privately. No. You have to. There are rules and procedures as well, customarily, that requires you, a man, to get permission from your guru, from your wife at home. If she permits, then you go ahead and marry. But if she refuses, that she can't stand this, then you have to either let go of her. And that's where you're going to go and share properties and talk about, divorce. And then that's when you can go ahead. After everything is done, then you can go and marry the other woman, or marry your whatever you want to marry. But you can release your current wife. That is how it's supposed to be done. But it does not work like that in Zambia mostly. You end up one, or you don't even tell your wife, then you just go ahead, and the next thing you hear, unapasa mimba the other girl, the other woman. So, and women they've accepted this now as a new normal, that a man at kulibe mamona wapa nyumba ali beside chick. It's low. It's okay. That is wrong. For me, that's very wrong. And women should just walk away. Just pack your bags and leave. You don't have to beg for someone just because he's a man, or he can marry more than one. You can also do the same if you want. Moreover, equal rights is here to play. Now, in the 21st century, you don't need to treat women as though they are handbags that you can just exchange anytime you want. No, they're human beings that need to be protected as well. So I stand with women on this side, on this subject. Thank you. Let me not destroy the...
Right. Thank you so much, Mr. Mkelaba. And I've heard that, Parliament is, tabling the issue to do with polygamy. And I really don't know in which vein they are actually, are trying to look at it. Maybe they want to bring in the aspect that you've brought, that women should also be allowed to be, polygamous in, nature, as it were. We wait and see the outcome of Parliament.
If in India it's happening, it can also happen in Zambia, And you have to remember one thing: we have a Tonga of a president in State House, so we should have such kind of laws being enforced. It will be fun.
What is consoling is that he's a Tonga with one wife.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, that's the only good thing. But if the law passes, then Tongas have it.
Yeah, we are yet to see. And the African man that I know, as egocentric as he is, he may not permit that, a woman would be allowed to be polygamous. Wait and see the outcome of
No. But
whatever they
yeah,
are
but
looking at in
it
terms
will
of
be
polygamy.
traditional. I think they're trying to enhance the traditional aspect to say, look, instead of us feeling choked on the traditional aspect, we should also accept the fact that men are allowed, and the women also will find a way of adjusting, to that, because we have seen from our past, from the elderlies, they managed very well to maintain peace. But these days, in our age and era, I think it will be quite cumbersome because couples are busy killing each other. You've seen what has happened. So
Exactly.
it would be a bad idea to bring this law into this generation. So,
Definitely, we are
yeah.
yet to see whatever is being tabulated by Parliament. Remember, this is Ubuntu channel, and you are watching the program called My Point of View. Let's move on and take a look at the next story.
There was drama at a named church in Lusaka's George compound when a couple's marriage blessing ceremony was interrupted by the presence of the group.
Congratulations. Thank you, Chair. Welcome to the civil service. That's your appointment.
She receives her appointment letter after her heroics that saved a life. Mefrin Monga is the lady that conducted cardiopulmonary resuscitation on former Chipolopolo captain Renford Calabar after he was involved in a road traffic accident 2 weeks ago. Monga's humanitarian gesture has finally paid off as the Civil Service Commission has employed her.
She proceeded to undertake CPR on Mr. Calabar for 20 minutes. Then his pulse recovered. And I think that had that not happened, we would have had a very different story about Mr. Calabar's fate. Because she's a volunteer extraordinaire, really, in this case.
Other commissioners commended Monga for being kind-hearted.
It's very touching, and we are happy that you had to just think of employing her. It's a beautiful story.
I must commend your family. Let me commend your mother. She has brought you up well. That is very, very important. You have done a very noble thing.
Now the government has given an opportunity to go and demonstrate to the Zambian people to say, when you are choosing a career, let it come from the bottom of your heart.
For Monga, the job opportunity is a call to serve.
Of course, my conscience couldn't allow me to just sit. I felt me sitting on a bus and me doing something involved someone's life. So I had to quickly try and do CPR to revive the one who had life. Learn to give a helping hand. In as much as you are busy, you don't know what to do.
Monga, 25, has been employed under the Presidential Initiative on Cholera Volunteers and has been placed under the Livingstone District Health Office. Wilson Mulinda, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
There we have it, a very interesting story there involving Mefrin Monga, a young lady aged 25 who was on a minibus and saw some, accident victims and decided to ask the driver to stop so that she could help, those accident victims. And she did not even know that there was one renowned, Renford Calabar. And according to her, she says she did not, despite mentioning the name, she did not still know Renford Calabar because she's not a soccer fan. She was just aiming at helping the accident victims and carried on what is known as CPR. I don't know, Mr. Mkeleba, if you know it, CPR, to resuscitate, the accident victim, in that case, who happened to be Renford Kalaba. And upon that, the government has recognized her and, offered her, employment. Your reaction, Mr. Mkeleba?
Well, I just want to commend the young lady for such a bravery act that she did. That was amazing, and also it's okay. I want to also thank the government for having recognized and awarded the young lady with a job, or rather a permanent position now in the civil service. That's a wonderful thing to do, but employing her only should not be the only thing. I think she deserves more than that, because she's a hero. She's a hero. She actually defeated she actually has put now a challenge on every Zambians, that Zambians, instead of rushing to your cell phones at an accident, at a scene of an accident, or at any fatal accident scene, whatever, you don't need to start filming. Even when somebody is about to drown, someone is asking for help, you have to find a way. If you yourself are not a professional in that area, it is much imperative for one to just scream for help. Any doctor nearby, stop the vehicle. If you are in the vehicle, look for, you can either call the emergency line or yell. You can yell to find out. When you yell, somebody may come out. Maybe you have a nurse in the bus. Maybe you have a doctor in the bus. Maybe you have anybody that's a professional person that could go in and help. Even those people that have at least basic training in rescuing people. And these are skills that you don't need to go for college and stuff. You can learn just to have this on the background, that in case something happens even in your own home, you are able to protect and prevent either your children from from any danger. A child can be choked, a child can fall into fire. What is the thing? What's the right thing to do when somebody has broken the leg, or somebody's struggling to breathe? What are the right thing? What are the steps? This is where we should finish or burn our bundles too. Let's not just use bundles on social media, insulting people and politicizing, but we should use our bundles to learn to save our life, teach ourselves how to protect others in times of need, because you don't know when you will use those little bit of skills that you have acquired, or the knowledge that you have acquired. Those can save somebody's life. She had no idea he was a footballer, and she happened to be on the scene, and she was not the one driving the vehicle. She commanded the driver, stop, and she went out. She rushed. The right thing to do, she observed, I believe, she had to check who needed more help, and how do you secure the environment? Do you know what you're doing? And if at all you know, go in, right in, step in and provide that help. By her act, that was an act of bravery, and she really saved this young man's life. She managed to maintain the post. Just the touch or keeping the person busy and lay them in the rightful position by tilting them after providing them with CPR, And if that person is not has now gained the post, then you train them to lay them in a very safe position so that they do not choke or drown within their own, or swallow the tongue, or whatever they call it. So these are simple things that we need to know. We need to teach each other, and we want to ask also the emergency, the doctors, the nurses, the Ministry of Health, the fire departments, and all these other departments, the police, not just to go and arrest people. These are things that you need to go out there in the community and sensitize the people. Teach, get a group of young men and pretend somebody has fallen down. You want to pick them. How do you do it? You know, you do those, you dramatize them, and then people get some ideas on how to save our lives. Many people have died that could have been whose lives could have been served, but because of one, we have no clue, we are ignorant, we have no idea what to do. And what I saw on that very fateful day was somebody was busy videotaping, going around video, oh uyu amwalira, oh shame, oh uyu afa, uyu mukazi afa, uyu manje uja wina ngona uja eve uja enzeko na seat belt, manje uyu driver. What if that driver needed help at that particular time? She was still alive, because you don't know. People can just go into unconscious state. But if you try to save them, bring them, put them down, and provide the CPR, you know, the first aid, safety measures, you will see that you may actually save lives. Others may die, but at least effort has been made. So I really commend the young lady. The young lady's action was very heroic, and we should actually award her with some medal of heroism. By Independence Day, ka medal mwaiche, just to emulate, or rather to show that when you are brave enough and you risk your life, because she also risked her life. What if that car was on fire and it happened to explode? She could have died, but she went in anyway and saved a life, and which the gentleman that has been saved owes to her. So we need to really thank the government for having recognized her and given her a job. So now the government, my question is, so imwena mkwate nchito tamulepera abantu first mulepe mbela timabapanga ka heroism work or something. You know, like people in Korela, whatever, those, you know, give people. But pain, of course, in Chito, we need youths to have jobs. Many youths are unemployed. The statistic can show that those youths that have been saving people during Korela and during this accident, you can tell that of all those, nobody was employed, meaning who are employed. So there's lack of employment, and government should not wait for people to save lives, for them to give jobs. They should create more opportunities for young men and women to enter into either civil service or create other opportunities for them to go and venture into something positive, so that the economy, so that we can improve our economy and save lives. So that's my take over this issue. Otherwise, kudos to the young lady. She deserves a medal, and I will have a present when I come to Zambia. I'm told she's in Livingston. I will look for her personally and shake a hand and maybe get her something, a first aid kit or something, that I'm gonna simply say thank you. Oh, nakangono pamwamba ndra. A girl needs money, you know. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Mkelawai. We are still right here on Ubuntu channels. My point of view, we go straight to take a look at the next story and coming back just there after the clip.
Tourism Minister Rodney Sikumba flagging off the 2024 Kwamboka Regatta, a precursor to the main Kwamboka ceremony. Gender Permanent Secretary Mainga Kabika is happy with the number of women that have taken part in the regatta.
We have quite a big number this year. We have over 40 women participating, and that is an encouragement to see such numbers, and would like to see more to come and join and participate. It's a very beautiful sport, and I think it can take them very far.
Paramount Chief Chitimukulu has graced this year's event and through his representative has accepted the Lozi challenge to the Lozi Bemba tribal cousinship.
Ababemba gathered today at this harbour accept the Lozi challenge to a Bemba Lozi tribal cousinship.
The Barose Royal Establishment is also happy with the warm reception the people of Western Province have accorded the Mwine Lubemba.
Rufitsa kamuhele tuna yeo minaba na babulozi bakolele kubonisa Mwine Lubemba niba na bahaye.
The organizers of the event are elated with the outcome of the regatta.
Badabaka bafuluhile hade kafusela bona akuna ya TVle.
Meanwhile, the Kwamboka ceremony of the Lozi speaking people is on. Justin.
Sam Kilawai, this one is over to you to explain to us what is going on in this clip and make known to us your reaction.
No, I'm laughing, I'm smiling because I'm happy that there's the new cousin on the market.
Exactly,
there's the new cousinship.
Those ones that probably you never even had it in your mind that they'll become your cousins. Here they are.
We used to call our brothers Bembas as Masholi, I don't know why.
Exactly,
even parents, even our parents would even say, no, you cannot marry a Bemba woman, blah, blah, blah. And, but we went beyond that. And I remember very well my uncle's son, my uncle's firstborn son, went and married a Bemba woman. And he was one of the people that was a little bit very tribal. I could hear the way he was talking, but then he surprised him and went and married, he married a Bemba woman. And then he was like, my uncle was like, wow, I didn't know that what is he thought Marifininkaka, something like that. But anyway,
you see,
coming back to
because of the kind of precedents that they have set. Of course, the majority of them would shock you, in terms of being so talkative and so on. And, some of them being the Masholis that you have talked about, thieving every time and justifying to say, I've just, picked it or something. It doesn't belong to anyone.
Yeah.
No,
it's because Bemba was the spoken language on the Copper Belt. Anyone that went to the Copper Belt for the mining business, to go and work in the mines, and the language that was used there was Bemba. And every person that would be found wanting or thieves caught, they're using. When they are asked questions, they would rather respond in Bemba, even when they are not Bembas. So that is the picture that they painted now, that all over they started thinking that Bembas are Masholi, something like that. Anyway, that's now history. But the good thing is that this cousinship, it's a symbol that shows that it symbolizes unity and Ubuntu, that we have become together as a nation, and they have done a wonderful job by defeating those politicians who, some of them have been convicted over the hate speech and tribal remarks. And already Mwine Lubemba and the Litunga of Barotseland, I think they did a wonderful thing by erasing this bubble of fire that was coming to attack Zambia, especially using tribe. Especially during Walungu's reign, we saw a lot of division, that Zambia became almost one side or two regional sided, or it was being divided. We could see that it was east and the north against the west and the south. Then you could see that there was total confusion. Had we just continued leaving everything to the politicians, I think there was going to be, of course, the recipe that would have actually created a lot of unrest in our country, a lot of hate, because I could see even on the internet that every time you are condemning or you are supporting Lungu or you are supporting HH, the responses that are there, they say, look at your name, and if you are Lozi, you're supporting HH, you said, yeah, your name can tell. If you are from Eastern Province, you are supporting Edgar Lungu, and say, look at your name. You see, that was growing. Panono. But then God loves this country, I'm telling you. Our chiefs, the paramount chiefs, I think they saw this and they decided to act. And their action has really planted a seed of whoever was being tribal in their mind has already been cast out. Now, Shimia, Katalepo Kulanda Pofuti Fiamma tribal issue. Na Kambi foot. Because right now, when you want to insult the Bembas, the Lozi will stand and say, who are you to insult our cousins? And if anyone wants to insult us, the Lozis, the Bembas will stand. What are you doing? The Easterners will say, why are you insulting our cousin, the cousins of our cousins? The Southerners also, they will do the same. So you find we, on top of the intermarriages that we've had, the intermarriages, now our chiefs have brought this cousinship closer. And I promise you, this is just a beginning, because more other tribes, we will see them now going and open up their cousinships too. And there will be so much unity in our country that there will be no room for tribalism. That is how you get rid of tribalism, through the traditional leaders, through with our politicians. They come up with the political will. Our citizens should also have the political will and the interest. The churches, they should not just be using their names, but they should come in and also plant this seed of unity. All the time, their message should border on bringing our people together, instead of what we used to hear, where the people now, they are busy praising the previous government and trashing the current government. Why? You can tell that they are bordering their whatever sessions with the tribal related issues. You look at the names of the priests that are trying to trash the government, you look at those that are, so there was so much confusion. But now I think the chiefs, our chiefs and our king has put a caveat, has put a stop, and nobody, anyone that will try to do this, they are on their own, and they will be seen and they will be booed, because no one will bring division. And coming to the regatta, organization of the regatta, that was a wonderful thing to do. But my observation there was that those men and women in those canoes, they had no life jackets. And I was thinking that how many civil servants now are they going to employ? Because if 2 or 3 of them capsized and they don't know how to swim, then I believe most of the lorries, because lorries are known for swimming, they are very good at swimming. I believe most of the lorries were going to save those who are drowning, especially our Bemba cousins who are not familiar with swimming. So when we go and save them from the water, maybe the HH government would look into it and give us some jobs. I think what we'll do next, we just that's on the lighter note. So that you see how rich I am now in terms of cousinship. I can joke with the Tongas now, and I can joke with our Bembas now, where we drink a tuvi and other stuff. So it brings it. This is how Zambia should be. This is the Zambia that we will leave the Zambia to our children happy, and the peace and tranquility shall forever be enjoyed in this with what our chiefs have done. They've paved way for peace and tranquility in our country, and we're gonna love and we're gonna enjoy the laughters already, because I saw some video of this young girl, Mutale Mwanza, something like that. She's Mutale and Mwanza, so she was making a joke of the Lozi that they have become cousins, and then she used a very nice word at the end of that was very funny, but it was that's how it should be. We should have a laughter and hugs and kisses. Of course, we're gonna marry one another as well. There will be a lot of more marriages now. Lozis, already we have Lozis that are married to Bembas, and we have Bembas that are married to there's a lot. My sister, myself, I have a big sister of mine whose husband, her first husband was a Mulenga, and that's where we have all these beautiful Mulengas, beautiful boys, tall, handsome, and very, very cute boys. Beautiful, and it's a beautiful breed. Lozi and the Bemba, and then you add Tonga, and then you blend them together. It's a wonderful, nice breed. So we love what the king and our paramount chief, Mwine Lubemba, they have done, and this will go in the book of history. Otherwise, thank you for that.
Right, thank you so much, and definitely it's a good thing. And they are saying your cousin is also my cousin. So your cousin's cousin is my cousin. There
Exactly.
it is. And we are commingling just like that. It's a concoctious kind of a thing. Let's take a look at the next story, and we're coming back just after that story.
Thank you.
The agriculture sector in Zambia can be described as a vast canvas where natural resources such as land and water intertwine with the labor of citizens to produce food for the nation and contribute to economic growth. However, the sector may be facing one of its toughest battles caused by the prolonged dry spell recorded in the 2023-2024 farming season. This has affected 7.5 million people in 84 districts. Nonetheless, a set of interventions from government is splashing some hope in the sector. For instance, government has approved the implementation of the Comprehensive Agriculture Transformation Support Program, CASIP. This is to ensure the improvement of the current policy and institutional framework for the agriculture sector to produce results that will change the agriculture landscape. Chance Kawai, an agriculture expert who serves as executive director at the Indaba Agriculture Policy Research Institute, IAPRI, and board chairperson for the United Capital Fertilizers, UCF, says CASIP is a game changer.
Our small-scale farmers are not just going to produce for their own eating and living, just a bit for commercial sale. They are now going to commercialize their production. They are going to put in, irrigation equipment. They are going to start farming as a business.
The Agriculture Institute of Zambia also weighs in on the impact that the shift from FISIP to CASIP is likely to have on the sector.
It's a very good strategy which goes beyond the input provision to farmers and brings on board a wider range of interventions, which I have in mind is capacity building, infrastructure development, and market access support.
To cater for those interested in farming activities but are not eligible to get support under FISIP or CASIP, government has introduced the Agriculture Credit Window Facility.
This year we are introducing more products on the Agriculture Credit Window to cover a broad range of agricultural assets such as irrigation and mechanization and other activities including livestock and fisheries. Ladies and gentlemen, these measures are expected to increase production and productivity among the small-scale farmers.
The Public Service Microfinance Company is a state institution which is used to fund agriculture endeavors for public service workers with loans and interest rates as low as 9%.
250 million is available for financing in the agricultural sector, for mechanization as well as for irrigation support, but also for livestock. In addition to the 250, we have set aside a minimum of 40 million kwacha.
Mboze Muvuma is a public service worker who serves as head teacher at Kasenga Girls Secondary School in Amwala district. He has accessed funding from the institution to set up a small-scale milling business.
So this project actually made quite a lot of money for me, such that within a year, thereabout, I was able to get another hammer mill using the income from the same project.
Despite the slow pace of development, farming blocks are a concept which government is trying to use to ramp up agricultural production in the country. Ibrahim Kamara, the head of research at the Center for Trade Policy and Development, CTPD, is spearheading a study on the impact of farming blocks in the agriculture sector.
When they begin to operate within those farm blocks, of course, there should be productivity which is enhanced. So government, of course, has a role to play. And in so doing, there are a number of things that government has to put in place. Okay, the same way that we have special economic zones, the multi-facility economic zones.
Another milestone registered in the agriculture sector is the government facilitation for the setting up of the privately owned $300 million United Capital Fertilizers, which manufactures Compound D fertilizer. The local manufacturing of fertilizers is expected to cut the importation of the commodity for Zambia by about 60%. And reduce the cost by about 40%.
The second phase, which now starts being operating next week, will be able to produce an additional 500,000 metric tons. That makes a total of 800,000 metric tons produced annually. That is significant. That will meet all the fertilizers that we need for FISIP and for our other farmers. But at the same time, we are not discouraging other people to bring in their fertilizers.
The less than 5 years old company is already contributing to Zambia's foreign exchange earnings through fertilizer export to countries such as Botswana, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, the Democratic Republic of Congo, DRC, among others. Despite the effects of the dry spell that has threatened food security in the country and caused challenges in the agriculture sector, stakeholders are optimistic that, like the proverbial phoenix rising from its ashes, the agriculture sector will rise again. Masauso Mukwayaya, ZNBC News.
There we have it. Amidst the long dry spell, we have pockets of, hope that are developing from the programs that we have seen the government has incentivized as regards, agriculture. Mr. Mkelawai, your reaction?
Well, it was quite long. I almost got lost. I almost got lost with what was these programs there. I could hear there's a lot of program this, program that, and a lot of institutions that are involved, and there's a lot of I'm thinking if me as Mkelawai find it a little bit long to follow, these explanations are too wide, because I have no proper information. I think I missed out a lot. What about the people in villages and those peasant farmers? Have they gotten all this, or these programs are just for the elites and for those that are near the capital? You see, I find this to be a little bit the information is a little bit too wide. I think the government should summarize these programs. What are they for? They're talking of FISIP, and now there's ASIP. I don't know. There's these are all in a way of trying to mitigate this drought, or trying to empower our people. But our Zambians, have they heard? Our peasant farmers, do they know about these programs? Because there has been a lot of positive talks, trying to give, of course, you have to raise awareness, you have to give hope in people that they should not give up. But I find that for as long as we keep on dragging these positivities and mentioning amounts of monies that are involved, and yet we don't see the results, the end product, it's just worthless. It's just useless than just keeping quiet, because we don't see what are these programs for. We are only hearing how good they are. They may sound so good and very positive, but do we have beneficiaries? Have we seen other beneficiaries coming forward to give testimony to these programs that they're working well? How many are those who have received? For example, I saw the head teacher that bought a hammer mill, that got a loan and got a hammer mill, and they bought another. He claims that he made so much money that he purchased another hammer mill. So the question is, how many of them, the headmasters or the head teachers, how many did what this person has done? Or why are we only given one individual to report about the positive things that covers 20 million? I don't know how many farmers we have in a country. So I think the government should do much better on this. They should come out and please, it's not that for my benefit. I understand, I can hear what the government is saying, but what about my mother in the village? There's so much words involved, so much good words, but what have they received from the village? Do they even know that they're entitled to these farming inputs? They're entitled to the loans? And what is it that they need to have to qualify to be able to access those loans? What are their duties? What should they do to be able to qualify? What should they produce to the loan, to these people who are offering loans? And what's the interest rate? How much should they pay back? Who should be seen in every district? Where should they go to? Who should they report to over these soft loans? relating to agriculture or mitigatory of this drought. So the information is good out there, Mchsungu, but is that rich? Has it reached the real farmers down there, the peasant farmers themselves? So I just want the government to look into this and use the language that our Zambian farmers understand best, because the farmers are not just those that are able to express themselves in English. Most farmers speak their own language in their own farm setups. So, except for maybe these commercial farmers who are getting bigger amounts, chunks of money from the government. But what about those peasant farmers, those who are plowing 10 hectares, 20 hectares? What are you doing about them? What information do you have for them? Who should they see in their own district setup? Where should they go? The DC? Should they go to the local councillor? Or who should who are the agriculture officers in those areas? So these are issues that you need to simplify to the Zambian people. That you are complicating things. There's too much good words for the elites, but for those that don't, they are finding it difficult to know what is it that is going on. Mlelumbula 20,000, 200 million kwacha. Can it cater for the whole nation? No. So we don't want to sound so good and yet we are doing negative things. But of course, come up with those programs. Hope those programs work for our people. That's okay. We are not against those programs. But are the people on the ground recipient of that information? And have they benefited from that? So those are the questions that we should ask. Do they know how to access those farming inputs, those loans that you are busy pronouncing? So those are issues that you need to work on. Talk to the people down there. Otherwise, it's just too good. There's so much nice things being said. But I think it's important that people should be questioning some of this. 200 million kwacha is sitting in that office, ready to be given for loans. How many are going to receive that, man? Please, people, against 7 million affected farmers. Seriously. That's my position for now.
All right,
Thank you.
Mr. Mtilabai, we do appreciate, and to some extent, I actually do agree with you that some things are only reduced into English, and they are not actually interpreted, to the intended audience, and as a result, the audience would not even participate and also benefit from such very important programs. Right on. Let's go straight and take a look at the next story.
An advert on ZMBC about Zambia's first fighter jet pilot, Tokozile Mwamba, ignited his passion to join the Zambia Air Force, ZAF. Later on, in an unrelated event, Robbie Chitambo courageously helped rescue 13 females who were abducted and kept in a house in Lusaka's Chalala area for months. This event would scaffold him in the limelight.
I was inside the house, then one of the victims escaped. Then she came knocking to my gate asking for help. So I got an axe with my friend here, and the other was at the other side. We went inside, we started helping the ladies now. Helping the ladies.
Partly because of his bravery and role in the rescue of the 13 females, Robbie, 21, adorned in the revered Zambia Air Force uniform, is now walking with elegance in his dream of working in the Air Force.
Being a soldier is not something. It's not a small burden. It's a very big burden that you have to take to wear this uniform. So after I trained, I learned that being a soldier requires you to have the heart for it. You have to really have that heart to manage training.
Robbie passed out as a non-commissioned officer in March 2024 and will now be going for further training as a radar operator.
I completed my initial military training, so I'll be now going into more training for radar and operations. Radar and operations basically involves identifying threats that are coming into our airspace.
He has advised young people to work hard and take education seriously as they prepare for opportunities.
Stay in school, work hard, do the right thing, make sure you listen to your parents, listen to the advice that they're giving you, and I would say stay focused.
Robbie has expressed gratitude to President Hakainde Hichilema and the Zambia Air Force Commander, Lieutenant General Oscar Nyoni, for the opportunity.
I would like to thank His Excellency, the President. I would also like to thank our Air Force Commander, Lieutenant General Oscar Nyoni, for giving me this opportunity to be here.
Masauso Mukwayaya, ZNBC News, Lusaka.
A story about preparedness meeting an opportunity. And I would say it looks like the president's eyes are very wide open and making recognition of, the efforts that, are being seen in people that, indulge in, issues that require intervention. Mr. Mkelawa, your reaction.
Well, thank you so much. The young man is considered a hero. He took part in rescuing those girls that were abducted by those crazy boys, who so far has been, I believe, sentenced to prison. And it's because of him that now he was talking of, it was him and his friend when they were busy taking out the kills. So I'm wondering what happened to the other friend. Why has he not been recognized as a hero as well? Because, and it's good that the government is able to award these young men with positions in the government. Already we have a young man has gone into Zambia Air Force. You see, and this is what I was trying to say earlier, that you don't have to save someone for you to be employed. It means that we have so many unemployed youths out there, and well-able youths that could be very productive to our country, that could bring a lot of sanity to our nation, that are unemployed and are not recognized, they are not even known. But we have a bunch of them waiting, roaming the streets, graduating every year. So it doesn't have to be like this, where they have to save someone for them to be recognized. But of course, when such an incident happens, we should recognize such effort made by the bravery of these youths. Already we have a nurse, and we have this young man, and those other health workers that were very brave to help the cholera victims. So we really appreciate our government to have an eye on such individuals and and award them with jobs. But we also need the government to also help them in terms of monetary reform, to give them at least a token of appreciation for what they've done. Of course, the job opportunity, that's a long way. It's gonna go a long way. It's gonna take long for them to enjoy what they did, but I am only urging the government to also, if there is enough space and we have the capacity in terms of money, then please employ as many youths as possible in the agriculture sector, especially this time around when we have drought. We need youths that will go out there, agriculture officers, to go and distribute information about the benefits or about the programs of a government to all remote areas, unlike what is happening. This is why we really want to thank the Drug Enforcement Commission, together with the other investigative agencies that are busy pouncing on those that store our coffers, that have destroyed our coffers, and recover most of the properties. I would suggest that you sell some of those properties. Money that is going to be realized from that, please employ many youths, like you did with the money for Faith Musonda, where you gave the money to the youths at the UNZA, paid for their meal allowance or bursary. We want you to do the same. The monies that are involved are just too colossal sum of money. And that jet, sell it so we can employ at least 300 or 200 youths, so that can go and do something in terms of helping the farmers out there in the rural areas. Give them motorbikes and house them so that they could go and reach the most remotest area, that where people are affected, where they are lacking information and food distribution. So that's my prayer, and that's my humble appeal to the government. Otherwise, good job. The government is doing a wonderful job by recognizing these kids who are doing heroic work. And we also want the government to also acknowledge the heroic work that is done by the profession themselves. The nurses, the doctors, the lawyers, the prosecutors, the drug enforcement commissioners, those that are doing a well deserved and good job to prosecute and saving many lives on bringing or recovery of our stolen properties as a nation. We should have their names be recognized, and those that died during the struggle should also be recognized posthumously. And that's my take. We should recognize everyone that are doing all the great work for the betterness of our country. I rest my case.
Right, Mr. Mkiramai, we do appreciate, not forgetting those people following on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. We greatly appreciate. This has been my point of view on Ubuntu channel, and to host it, my name is Chaza right here. Till next time, you're saying, God bless you all.